Shalom, shalom. This is Ma'afaya Shalom and Aparium. This is Ma'ashan Israel and Ephraim. Before we get started, you got to give all praises and honor to my power, Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahweh Ba'ashem Rakakadash. Shalom to Alki Magwa for them buying that tuned into this video. That is peace to the brothers, sisters, and children tuned into this video. Now, I want to touch bases on who's going to turn on Babylon. I want to touch bases on the NATO EU. We'll also touch base on what the BRICS alliance is, and obviously what comes with the people turning on Babylon, right? So we're going to start the book of Revelation, chapter 13, verse 4. And they worship the dragon, and the dragon is referring to Rome, or the second coming of Rome, which would be Babylon, which gave power unto the beast, and that beast is the EU and NATO, right? Now, Babylon, aka America, spearheads EU and NATO. They're leading that, right? And they worship the beast, saying, "Who is he? It's like who is like unto the beast, and who is able to make war with it?" Essentially saying like that they believe on the unstoppable. There's no one to stop. They can't. They're not to be effed with, not to be messed with, right? There's no one that they can make war with them. Now, this is the book of Revelation, chapter 17, verse 16. And the 10 horns were solid upon the beast, again, like what we just said. These shall hate the whore. The whore is Babylon. That's America, right? And it shall make her desolate and naked, and shall eat her flesh and burn her with fire. Now, the desolate and naked is going to expose her. They're going to expose her, right? And they eat her flesh. They're going to destroy her. They're going to burn her with fire. Now, that fire part we're going to test base on later in this lesson, but essentially just talking about the missiles, right? Now, let's go to EU and NATO. That's what EU and the NATO is, right? The European Union, EU, and NATO are both important organizations that play a role in security and stability of Europe and the world. They have a complex relationship characterized by both cooperation and sometimes competition as they work in different spheres, right? So let's look at the different nations in there. Right? Now, NATO and the EU have 23 member states in common: Belgium, Bulgaria, Croatia, Czech, Denmark, Estonia, Finland, France, Germany, Greece, Hungary, Italy, Latvia, Lithuania, Luxembourg, the Netherlands, Poland, Portugal, Romania, Slovakia, I'm mispronouncing that, Spain, and Sweden. In addition, some NATO members are not EU members, and vice versa, right? NATO have 32 member states, right? Includes 30 European nations and 2 North American nations, Canada and United States. Membership expanded significantly after the Cold War, adding countries like this: Czech Republic, Hungary, Poland, and others, right? So now we see all these different nations, right? But we just read that all these different nations are going to turn on these people right here. Going to turn on Babylon. So all those nations, right? And again, the number of these nations are going to be very important in a second. Now let's touch base on the BRICS Alliance. The BRICS Alliance is a group of an emerging economies consisting of Brazil, Russia, India, China, and South Africa, with intentions of increasing the influence of the global order. Originally conceived as BRIC in 2001, and later expanded and includes South Africa in 2009, the group aims to coordinate economic and diplomatic policies, establish new financial institutions, and reduce dependence on the U.S. dollar. Now, this is also very important, right? Because also, if you are in a book or you have caught other lessons, that you see that, Magog, right here, they have very, very big, you say, importance in these prophecies, right? They're gonna, I'm gonna put the precept in the comments. Essentially, go put the fangs back in their mouth. We're gonna put them back in that Cold War mindset, where they're gonna want to pick war with Babylon again, right? The book of Jeremiah, chapter 50, verse 9. For lo, I will raise up and cause to come up against Babylon, the assembly of great nations from the north country. So a lot of nations. This is right here referring to BRICS as well. There's going to be will cause up a nations, assembly of great nations to come up against Babylon the Great, right? Out of the north country. Now that north country is referring to Russia, Magog. The land of the north that was referring when you read in the Bible and it says land of the north, that's actually referring to Babylon, aka America. Right? But right now we're talking about Russia, because it says the north country. And they shall set themselves array against her, from thence she shall be taken. Their arrows, again, this arrow is going to be very important. Their arrows shall be a mighty expert man, and none shall return in vain. Right? So, they're going to set their face against Babylon. They're going to have war with Babylon, right? And that arrow is actually talking about ICBM missiles, right? Talking about the nukes. And it's not just going to be the people part of the BRICS, where we're just talking about, and Jeremiah 50 and 9. It's going to be talking about what we talked about earlier, when all the other nations are going to turn their back on Babylon, right? When the one where they shall hate the whore and burn her with fire, that's the other nations as well, talking about with the arrows, right? It's the book of Nahum, chapter 3 and verse 3. The horseman lifted up both a bright sword and glittering spear. Now, glittering spear, the mushroom, like the glittering spear, the arrow, it's talking about the ICBM missiles. You gotta remember, back then they seen the prophecies. They're not. This is what they see. That's what it seems like to them. Their vernacular. This is what they're used to. So they're not going to say ICBM missiles because they don't know what that is. But the glittering spear, that's what it looks like to them. And there is a multitude of slain, a great number of carcasses, and there's going to, and none in the corpse. They stumble upon the corpse. So there's going to be a lot of people dead, a lot of death with this happening, right? But you see, the horseman lift up the bright and glittering sword. These people are going to start bombing it, blowing the spot up. The book of 2nd Esdras chapter 16 verse 16, and it reads, like an arrow, again that word arrow is being brought up again, like an arrow which is shot of a mighty archer returneth not backward. So once these missiles are shot, they're not returning back from where they came from. They're going to hit their target, which will be Babylon. Even so the plagues that shall be sent upon the earth shall not return again. It's going to be wiped clean. It's going to be a restart. Because you do know that, like, the precept is going to paraphrase it, Esau's the end of the world, and Jacob's the beginning of it that follows. Because once this is clean, Jacob, the 12 tribes, Israel, we're going to be back in our rightful steed, because the 2/3 are going to pass away with the heathen, and the 1/3, the elect, will be saved. We're going to replenish the world. We're going to have the other nations rebuild the world, and everything will be in righteousness. Slakia. It's the book of 2nd Esdras chapter 15 verse 43. And they shall go steadfastly unto Babylon and make her afraid. They shall come to her and besiege her. People are going to. It's going to be Magog. It's going to be Magog that touches land, that gets on Babylon land, soil. It's going to be the Ammon and North Korea, the other nations that are going to be on our land. They're going to make it on our land. People don't believe it's going to happen, but it will, because that's what the book says. The star and all the wrath shall they pour out upon her. Then shall the dust and smoke go up into heaven, and all that be about her shall bewail her. Then essentially says once Babylon is destroyed, a lot of people want to bewail her. There's a lot of people who come here and make money off of Babylon because they sell goods here. You know, we are one of the. We don't really trade out. We trade. We trade a lot of in. We get a lot of stuff in. They trade here for us. So these people want to bewail that. But Babylon's going to be destroyed, and it's going to be destroyed at the hands of her own allies, and obviously the people that are also her enemies as well. Everyone's going to turn on to Babylon. I don't want to decide this lesson was edifying. They give you some peace. You know, we gotta give all praise and honor to my power, Yahweh, by Shem Yahushua, by Shem Kwakadash. Shalom, shalom, shalom.